James with Eye on Education, Iredell Statesville Schools Superintendent. All right. So this morning with us is Statesville High School seniors. We're continuing our Eye on Seniors, and so we'll be talking with them here shortly. With them today is Leslie Rucker to my immediate right. She is the 12th grade counselor at Statesville High School. So we anticipate 181 students graduating, and I believe I'm at your graduation. So that's Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Saturday morning. So Mr. Hamby said he wanted to change that to 6. He had something to do at lunch. But 8 a.m. Saturday morning, I believe I'm at West Iredell Friday night. And I believe today is Tuesday, so Thursday is Kat's graduation, so a lot going on in our county. Yes, it's that time of year to get another group of students out. So between us and Mooresville graded school system for public schools in Iredell County, we're looking at about 1,900 graduates, and 20 to 22% of those typically go off to a four-year university. The other ones either go to a trade school or two-year degree and then decide if they're going to do a transfer and move on. But as we talk to some of the seniors today, they'll tell you about some of the offerings they've been able to take advantage of while a student here with us. And so I'll be introducing those. But a lot going on. So district-wide, we're trying to wrap our heads around how much scholarship money we've got this year, and that, of course, continues to change daily until graduation. But we're somewhere in the vicinity of $33 million in scholarships for 1,700 graduates, and that's a phenomenal number. And, of course, just at Statesville High School alone, 181 students with $2.6 million in scholarships. So that is phenomenal, and I think these kids are going to tell you when they talk today, fill out that FAFSA form. I keep telling everyone that, and North Carolina continues to leave about $85 million on the table. And once again, we all know our government, and those of us that pay taxes, doesn't go back in the savings account. It just goes to a state that's going to fill out the form. So our kids deserve that money as much as anyone else in the state or in the country. So please, parents, we offer several nights during the year. We'll help you fill out the FAFSA form. Even if you don't think your child's going and you might have some doubts on your income, fill out the form, because the numbers change constantly. You might have been ineligible last year, but you might be eligible this year. So please work with us to pull down all the money we can for our students, because they deserve it. And some of that money makes a difference in what school you can attend, or if you can attend for some students. So please, parents, help us as we help you to pull down that money for our students. As I always say, all the kids belong to the residents here of Iredell County, and parents, guardians, and our community is only as good as what we do to support it. So it takes everyone. If you don't even have a child, if you see a kid out that looks 18, say, have you filled out your FAFSA today? We've got to pull down that money to get more kids involved. And it's not just for your school. You can use that money for Mitchell College. You can use it for technical school, NASCAR Institute. There's a lot of things you can do with that. So way over to my left, I'll go through and introduce everyone, is the infamous Stephen Hamby. He's going to tell us about his plans after school. So if you watched Greyhound football, you've probably seen him on the field. Next to him, yes, that's Haley. She's been on several shows with me, so I think she's stalking me. But she won't be long, though. She's going off to college on us, and she's going to talk to us. But I believe you are class valedictorian. All right, so we will get to see you Saturday at 8 a.m. Yeah. Actually, before 8 a.m. So sitting over next to her is Demisha Imes. And I told Demisha I probably went to school with some of her kin people, because there were quite a few Imes when I come through West Iredell many, many years ago. We won't say how long. I'm much older than I look. So next we have Nick Serrera, and he's with us. So Nick, glad to have all you guys with us. And of course, Leslie, I've already introduced her, their counselor. A lot of people asked what all our counselors do, and I'll speak a little bit for Leslie, then she can tell you. But pulling down scholarships, making sure that kids fill out FAFSA forms. And one of the biggest things, you never want to end up being a senior and find out that you're missing a class your senior year, because if you want to talk about stress, it will start. So one of the great things we've done here in Iredell County with your tax dollars is we started a program called Major Clarity. So starting in the 5th grade, students take an interest survey, and yes, when they're 5th graders, it'll probably have 60 different jobs they can do, and someone inadvertently always picks out a weird one like alligator wrestler and says, oh my God, where'd you get this crazy survey? So as you take it as time goes on, that field starts narrowing based on your academic abilities and your likes and dislikes. So it helps when you hit 9th grade, because then the counselor will have a true portfolio of what you're good at and be able to track classes so you don't end up without a pathway, or your senior year finding out you might need a course that you failed and had to take credit recovery, but I'm sure none of y'all failed a course. So unfortunately in college it may happen, so just prepare. It gets a little bit tougher. So that said, Stephen, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, I'm going to attend Western Carolina. I'm going to be playing football up there, and I'm going to try and major in pre-med and try to go get my doctorate.
Absolutely. So you actually took some health occupation classes with us.
Yes, sir. I took the CNA route and also the pharmacy tech my final year for senior year, just to get 2 more certificates, and I passed both, so we're doing good.
So great. So you heard certificates. So last night, Tim Woody, our CTE director, had an update on the certifications our kids have pulled down this past year. We're at 12,200 and climbing, so there'll be some more that are completed when you finish up this week. So that's a great amount of certificates, and those are industry certificates. So that means Stephen can walk in, get a CNA job tomorrow. He's got certification. He passed his exams. Matter of fact, your class at Statesville High School had a 100% pass rate.
Yes, sir.
And I believe it has since we put it on the campus. So, and I would just tell you, I sit on several different committees, and listening to the healthcare industry, I'm not sure we could have enough kids go into healthcare that we could slow the need of nurses, doctors, etc. So you can get part of that done. So jumping down to Haley, Haley, so what's your plans? And tell us a little bit about your academics.
Okay, so after we graduate, I plan to go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And
isn't that blue?
Yeah.
Okay, I wore the right color today.
And I plan to go into the medical field. So yeah, and at Statesville, I've taken about 33 credit hours from Mitchell Community College that I have to put forward next year. And so that's just like general credits that I can.
So that helps you get ahead on that 4-year degree?
Oh, yeah, it does for sure.
And at UNC Chapel Hill, I'd probably venture to say that would probably save your parents about $30,000 in tuition.
Yeah.
And it was, well, let's say it, folks, like the commercial, it was free.
It was.
So you didn't pay for anything. Your tax dollars just helped Haley out and her parents knock off about $30,000 of her UNC Chapel Hill bill.
Yep.
Because she took the courses here. Plus, it got her ahead almost half a year, if not close to a year.
Yep.
So that's just wonderful. So next to her is Demisha. So Demisha, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your plans are.
I'm Demisha. I'm from New York, and I just want to go into the healthcare field. I will be going to Winston-Salem State, and I will be majoring in nursing, and I want to minor in music production. So.
Great. So I'll let you know a little secret. Winston-Salem State has a great program in occupational therapy and physical therapy. You can get your doctorate in it, and those jobs are 6 figures. Right. If you come out with your doctorate in OT or PT, it's a 6-figure job starting out. So there's a huge demand for OT and PT. Great school. It has a great program. At one of those little whims when I thought about getting another degree, I actually come close to going there and getting my OT or PT. But great place to go. All right, coming down to Mr. Nick. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what your plans are.
First of all, thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
This is the best part of being in my job, talking to kids.
My name is Nicholas Soria.
Young adults, I'm sorry.
My plan here is I'm going to Mitchell Community College after graduation, and I'm going to be studying for being a sport physiologist. And I am the top 3 for chain of command for JRTC in high school, and that carried me very far, and keep going and keep pursuing.
So you're not going into the service?
No, sir.
So National Guard, I hear, also offers, you get a little bit of extra money because it's the North Carolina National Guard. So commend you for doing that and serving your country, at least preparing to serve your country in JRTC. But you have a great program there. We actually have that program at North Iredell, which is the Army. West Iredell is the Army. And then, of course, the Marines, my long-lost friend, Mr. Fisher, Master Sergeant Fisher. So actually I was on the committee that hired him. It was some great programs. And if you guys don't keep up with anything else out in radio and Facebook land, our ROTC programs are second to none in the nation. So excited about that. And, of course, this summer, starting at South Iredell, is an aeronautics summer camp with ROTC, JROTC. And then in November, we're going to host about 4 weeks for aeronautics in a camp. So we're partnering with Ontario Air to try to kick that off. And, of course, when the new high school opens, we will definitely be trying to push an aeronautics program there. And believe it or not, that is a significantly fast and furious growth field. Most of the pilots, the major amount of pilots are 55 or older, and they're getting ready to retire out in the next few years. So there's a need for about 500 to 600 pilots coming up. And those are easily six-figure jobs. And I think I was told by Ontario Air, your last 10 years, somewhere near $400,000 a year as a commercial airline pilot. So just think, Mr. Hamby, you can be a flying nurse. You can fly the plane, land, and then be a nurse.
Oh, yeah.
So you can make a lot of money. So, all right. So let's talk about when you started in ISS and how long you've been here. Some of you may have come in at kindergarten. Some of you may not. Just tell us about your career in Iredell Statesville schools. And then tell us, if you did come in early, where you went to elementary and where you went to middle. Let's start with you, Nick.
I started out in elementary at East Elementary.
East Elementary. Okay.
At that path, my family are Colombians. They just made it here in North Carolina, and it's a little bit of a struggle, but we managed through, and we find the right ways and the right path for me and my brothers. Then in middle school, we went to American Renaissance here at Statesville. For there, I met great people there, really good opportunities, and opened many doors for us. And still now, my friends are American Renaissance as well, and carry on went to Statesville High School. That plan helped me so much. I was lost, I will admit that, and later on, it carried me so much.
All right. So, Demisha, same question.
So I've been back and forth from New York to North Carolina my whole life. I started school in New York. I went to PS 215 in Queens. Then I moved here. I went to Harmony Elementary, Parkview Elementary in Mooresville. Then it was EMIS. Then I went to Troutman, back to New York to Emolier Academy. Then I came back to Statesville Middle. So
Wow.
I've been all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a huge difference between here and New York.
Yeah. It's a pretty big difference, but they're both pretty good schools. Both different states, pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
Haley?
I went to American Renaissance Charter from kindergarten to 8th grade, and then I switched over to Statesville, and it was really great. Like, I was really nervous at first because I'd never been in the Iredell Statesville school system, but whenever we actually got there, it was the best decision I probably could have ever made. So
Great. Mr. Hamby?
Same as Haley. I went to ARS Elementary and then in the middle, and then went to Statesville High School. And it was a welcoming place. I mean, you go into high school not expecting a lot. You say, outcast. You're not going to be friends with anybody. But it doesn't take long just to, say hi to somebody. And then you go, make friends. And then you got a friend group. And then you got a whole, you're connected throughout the entire school.
Well, I was telling your counselor that's where I began my education career, was at Statesville High. Before it was renovated, it was the old building. So then went to Lake Norman, and then been several other schools before I left the county and come back. So great little culture at Statesville, because it's a family atmosphere, I think. Unfortunately, we get in the news sometimes there because it is the city school and it's right in the middle of everything. Doesn't mean we don't have issues at every school and in our society as a whole. So I've always had a spot in my heart for Statesville High School, and I just think it's one of our prettiest campuses. And we're fortunate enough that our taxpayers and our county commissioners support our schools. I have been in 2 other counties that would love to have the funding we have and the quality of schools we have as far as the aesthetics. It's hard when you don't have money to try to build a school and keep schools renovated, but we have some really nice schools. So here's a biggie. So you guys are getting ready to exit and begin and I say it's not the ending, it's the beginning of your career and life. And not that y'all haven't had a fabulous one already, but there's a lot of experience between now and retirement. So 9th graders, if you had anything you would tell them, let's start with Demisha. What would you tell them as a senior getting ready to leave?
Stay focused, because when it comes up to transferring from middle school to high school, you're open to more freedom. So you're able to kind of dib and dab in different places and find different people to become friends with. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that your school, your everything academically has to be done, and that you do your best but still have fun, because it's high school, you're still a kid. Mm-hmm. But make sure that everything in your classes is completed, and always stay to yourself. You meet different people and you try to click with them, and you kind of lose yourself within that. But always stay unique and just stay responsible.
Good advice. Stephen?
My advice for rising 9th graders is do as much as you can. You're in high school to learn. You're in there to have new experiences. So you see that club you're kind of interested in, do it. And if you don't like it, you can leave. It's not like you're stuck in it. Like I want to go be a doctor, but I took the FFA and I had fun. I was the president, and I had a lot more fun in that than I thought I would. It was weird. And you just got to do whatever. Try those sports. Try new sports. You're there. You're gonna be a rookie. You're gonna fail sometimes. But it's all right. Just try your best. Keep working hard.
But you actually learn some stuff. So you
learn
a little bit about tractors and raising cattle and whatever y'all do a lot of different things. Depends on what you went into. But we have some very good FFA programs across our district, and Statesville campus is sort of landlocked, so it's hard to have that full-blown FFA experience there, or ag experience, because of the being landlocked and being on an asphalt parking lot. But we're taking back the old it's the old field house. It's going to be renovated back into the career technical building that it was when I was there. Then our hopes are to build a field house on next to the football field. So we're trying to figure out how it will float during heavy rains. That was a joke. We'll build it so it won't float. So, all right, Nick. So 9th graders, what advice would you give a 9th grader coming in?
For rising 9th graders, always ask. It's opportunities and questioning. They were never given. You always gotta ask to be well known. Know what you want to do. Some things won't really be given. It's the take that you gotta take the chance and find that you love or love to do. Anything that you don't like, or things that says, man, this ain't for me, try it. Same thing what Steven said. It's things you gotta take a risk for it, and just at least try the flavor, because it could not be it, but you will learn at least. For me, I got worried when I entered JRTC. I got worried for many programs that said this ain't for me, but when you take the chance, it will open so many doors. You will meet fantastic people because they will always come to you. For me, I always take that chance, ask questions, ask your counselors, your teachers, that, man, what should I do to improve or to know for my future career?
Absolutely. And I think you guys probably get a whole lot more of that than back in the day that you hear from people my age. I'm not even sure that we had a school counselor in K8. So I went to K8, not K5 and then 6-8. So it was a K8 back then also. So here's a question I always like to hear from you, and we got a few minutes left. Tell us about a teacher that made a significant impact on your schooling. So let's start with Haley.
I think the most impactful teacher I've ever had was in fourth grade social studies at ARS. It was Miss Lisa Hardig, who I think she actually teaches at Central Elementary now.
Okay.
But she was just like she taught me really important life basics and gave like the best encouragement and advice to get through the school year. And she just, she was more than a teacher because she put her families first and her students first, and she just made a bond that was just no other teacher could make with her students.
Great. So that relationship, we talked a little bit about that at the board meeting last night, culture and relationship. And Stephen actually said that in his answer. The culture at the schools build their own culture, and you guys, I think, have said that you feel very welcomed and appreciated at Statesville High, and that you feel like it's a family. So great culture to have. So Stephen, teacher that made a difference in your career.
I'm not sure which year it was, but I was in chemistry, and Miss McDonald, I was nervous about chemistry. It's one of the hardest classes you can take. Mm-hmm. And I walk in, and I see Miss McDonald. She's so nice and kind. She welcomes you in. You ask for food. She's like, hey, I got you a snack. And she's, she works hard and teaches you the best she can. And I really appreciate that. She kept pushing me forward, like in stoichiometry. That's the really hard math part of chemistry. I was just not getting it. And she would stay with me and teach it to me. And eventually I got it. And it really helped me kind of narrow my way into, like, I want to do something with science. Science is cool. And Miss McDonald really helped with that.
Wonderful. Demisha?
I've met a lot of teachers throughout school, from jumping from school to school every couple of years, but one teacher that has impacted me the most would have to be Miss Lisa Bragg at Statesville High School. She was our nursing fundamentals teacher, and for it to be her first year teaching, and for her to just show so much love and appreciation and just be one of the best teachers she can ever be is something that I haven't seen. And she's so, I don't know, she's just like the sweetest person in the world. And a lot of people say a lot of bad things about Statesville, but in a whole, every teacher I've came around to that actually talk to, they've always been very, very sweet and open-hearted. So I would love to say all of Statesville has a really good impact.
Great. So jumping down to Nick.
For me, it's Miss McDonald. I was lost. I was confused for my first year and freshman year, and she, not just for me, it's for every student, wanted to take the right path for everyone, wanted to succeed. Even if you're not sure about it, she's always there for you, on your right shoulder, says, is everything okay? She asks you questions, are you doing good? Is there anything that you can be helped with? That's a humongous, greatest gift that a teacher can do. It's for a person that was always there for you to make sure that you're doing right or you're doing something wrong. That's what every teacher should do, because if you're doing something wrong, they want to lead you to the right path. Every teacher's like that, and that's the most sweet and beautiful thing is.
And you would also say that about your counselor,
Yes.
Miss Rucker, making sure that you're getting the right classes. So, guys, appreciate you coming on. And as I've said, there's great things going on at all of our schools. And unfortunate, we're in a society where bad news travels fast. Good news is hard to get around. So that said, this is Dr. James, Iredell Statesville School Superintendent with Eye on Education with Senior Spotlight. Thank you, guys.
Local news and weather now on News.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Just for those of you that are tuning in on Facebook, you can see who's here. But if you want to give us a call and tell us about Gina and how much that she needs to re-up her contract, it's Lieutenant Gina Cranford. Or give us a call for anything else, 704-873-1400. And Sheriff, I know I just saw my son leaving, so this has been the Hamby day here at WSIC. He was on in the segment before, and now I'm here talking about all our graduates. And man, Friday night and Saturday is going to be busy times here around the county. Gina, I'm glad you stayed because I know you're one of the big coordinators for security for our graduation events. But folks, just be mindful. Saturday morning is probably going to be a little busy around our major high schools. I know that Statesville, Lake Norman, and I think all the county schools are graduating Saturday morning or Friday night. So just be careful. There's going to be folks out that may not be familiar with Ardell County, may not be familiar with patterns. Grandma and Grandpa may be traveling to the graduation to see the kids. So let's give everybody a little bit of grace. Let's everybody be easy, not be wrecking or speeding or carrying on. But on behalf of Sheriff, I know you're here, and everybody at the Sheriff's Office, congratulations to all the students, families, and teachers that have got those students to graduate coming up this weekend. So congratulations to the class of 2023.
One really is you're on the road, remember, because there'll be a lot of them taking their beach trips and things like that. So Saturday and Sunday even is going to be busy on our roads.
We may have a call. Gina, you may have another fan.
Well, we'll see.
Hello?
Hello, you're on with the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to I don't know Miss Gina, but I do have a story to tell you, Sheriff. Last week, I think it was Friday. One day they had a license check out on Triplet Road. I think it was 4-way stop sign out there at Triplet and Roseville down somewhere in that area.
Yes.
Anyway, one of your officers came to the truck to get my driver's license, and my dog was all over this man, trying to lick him and kiss him. And just wanted to say he was a very patient officer, and he was petting my dog, trying to hold the dog while I was trying to get my license out. I just wanted to tell him thank you. I never got a chance to because he threw my license. I think he wanted me to go on and get my dog out of there. But anyway, he was very nice about it. And I just wanted to say thanks. And he was, you got a great staff there, buddy.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
I am blessed, and we really appreciate the young officers. And just like yourself, the community that calls in and brags on them and supports them, that means a lot. And, I hope he's doing a good job. Those license checks, they do it to make sure the bad guys know we're in the community to keep crime away from our neighborhoods. But we'll find out who he is and give him a hard time for not kissing the dog back. How's that?
No, he was actually helping me. He was trying to pet the dog, and my dog was going crazy because he likes everybody, and your officer was very patient.
Well, that's cool.
I assume that he liked the dogs because he sure did pet on him really good.
Hey.
I do appreciate it, guys.
Hey, thank you very much for your call.
Thank you for calling, sir. Appreciate it. Sheriff, going back and talking about graduation, while we want our graduates to go out and have fun and enjoy these times, we do want people to be cautious, be careful. We know there are laws here in North Carolina, and while we were talking about it at break, and I appreciate our Farm Bureau gentlemen staying with us, guys, let's just say that one of our young graduates goes out and decides to indulge in some alcohol and happens to get stopped for a DWI as an underage driver. From an insurance perspective, how much is that going to cost?
No. Go. I was going to say, talking about DWI, and it don't have to be the 08 and appreciate. It's just this is a provisional. So basically
exactly
anything,
right.
and the best I can remember, I don't believe the provisional has to be on the toxilizer, just a breath test.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Just with parents thinking, say, just going to have it's
the type of vehicles they have, all that plays into it. But I mean, the hard part with that is there's not a lot of companies that would offer them insurance in the first place.
So if you get one, you're done.
Not necessarily, but strong possibility. There's a few companies that's kind of their niche or their specialty, what they'll do.
When you find that company, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So just what would be a ballpark that mom and dad or the young person would have to pay for insurance?
I would say 25 would be $2,500 or so every 6 months. Probably be where
at
you
least
would,
just for that kid, at least.
That would be my guess on it. On right around.
Well, if it's mine, I'd be riding a horse. So I mean,
mine
it's
wouldn't
not
even
be
mine wouldn't be able to sit down to get on the horse.
Yeah.
Well, we hate to bring this up, but we do know it's a celebration time. We do know
Absolutely.
kids make sometimes bad decisions. We all made bad decisions.
And we're just here to educate the people, so don't let it be a surprise. One, obviously, and all the kids know you shouldn't be drinking. It's 21. parents, I know this is that time. It's like, well, I'll let my child drink at home and maybe let his friends drink it here, because we can supervise them. Well, that's a crime too. And then if they drink at your house, they get out, they get caught, it's going to hit them financially. It's going to hit them. And,
in a lot of ways,
that scholarship that they may have just worked so hard to get, that may go away. Because a lot of colleges are not going to take kids with underage drinking tickets. They're not going to take them with underage DWI tickets. Because as I had a recruiter tell me when we were trying to get my son in college, there's a lot more people, son, wanting to come to this school than we got spaces for.
It's going to change a lot of the risk reward. I mean, you go to high risk then as an investment for these colleges because look where you're at, and just a simple decision, having understanding.
It's a life. It's an event that can affect you for a while. For example, people don't realize on life insurance. For example, if you're trying to get life insurance, and you're 19 years old and you have a DUI, the best rating, you can't get a good rating on your life insurance for 10 years. It affects.
So you taught me something.
I know. I didn't know
affects
that.
a lot of things, when it comes to that.
And you went to the recruiting side of it. I mean, I remember when I was interviewing for jobs and trying to find my place where I was going to live and that type of thing. The one thing after I would get an interview done, they would say, whatever you do, just don't get a DWI. Don't get a DUI.
Right.
Really?
From that point forward, like, we want to hire you, but if you do something in this couple-week process, you're
gone. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very fine line you're walking there.
And one of the ways, Sheriff, that I know that you're passionate about educating kids not only to this stuff, and this may be a class that we need to have these guys
we do
come
a version of
to
it.
our
This would
Teen
be-
Academy.
Yeah, this would be cool.
But this would be extra knowledge is our Teen Academy's coming up.
We got about 5 minutes. Gina, the Teen Academy.
Yes,
you
sir.
participate in that and sort of going from the schools, and we'll sort of let you run it. Teen Academies for our young youth during the summer sort of like to understand not so much what we do. It's not a recruitment. It's basically to make good life choice decisions from a law enforcement perspective. So with you being in the schools, and now we're talking about this because I know y'all talk this, prom safety, school safety, graduation safety, all that stuff. Tell us a little bit about that, I guess, and how you sort of play into that role, wrap it up, and why it's important for people to come.
Well, just like the athletic league, inviting kids out in the community to have something to do on the weekends when all sports are kind of not happening, the off season, getting kids out there for competition, and having them something to do, keep them busy. Same thing with Teen Academy. It just kind of introducing them into what we do and what we're out here serving the citizens with every day.
I think we've been doing it now for 7. We maxed out every class, and I can honestly say, knock on wood, and I believe last year we have not had one child that's come through, been charged on a juvenile petition or anything that's come through our Teen Academy. And a lot of them would look. Yeah. How many of you here Wilfton? How many of your grandmas made you come?
Oh,
but
yeah.
by the end, once they get to see the dogs, the helicopters, the Bearcats go right on the boat, play with vehicle stops. But 1 hour is usually fun stuff, and then usually the other hour is teaching stuff like this: dangers of drinking and driving, drug use, gang affiliations. There's a lot of stuff that we teach. We just use the fun stuff to get the kids in the class, and so far we've enjoyed. It's been a great thing. And
so
it's very informative, and kids hesitate asking, but when you tell them and they get to see it, it's very informative.
And I know our SROs are out putting the word out into schools here before. And the reason we have it in July, and it will be this year, our classes will run from July 6th through August 1st. The reason we picked this particular time of year is we want to give families that opportunity to have a vacation, go out and enjoy your summer, come back in, give us a few weeks at the Sheriff's Teen Academy, and then we're not interrupting with football starting, soccer starting, things like that, because we want our kids to come out and just embrace this. So if you have a child that's interested, a child or a grandchild, call us at the Sheriff's Office, 704-878-3180, or go online to iredellsheriff.com and search for the Teen Academy icon. Click on that, and you can register. You can go through our app and get the information there as well. Iredell Sheriff on your Google Play or Android App Center. So we'd love to have it, and like I said, we'll take as many kids as we can possibly get. I know Sheriff's always like, no, we'll take them all. Once you get about 25, 30 kids, it gets a little cumbersome, but we will never turn a child away.
There you go. That's another way of saying, yeah, we will. So,
no, we won't.
Hey, Bill, we got real quick. I know we've only got about 2 minutes.
Yes.
We want to let neighborhoods be on the lookout for a vehicle. We got some press releases. They'll be posted on Facebook.
Yes, we do.
This is sort of one we'd like to find.
If you folks will go to our Facebook page, it's Iredell Sheriff on Facebook. We have a picture of a van that is of interest to us in some break-ins around Iredell County. We had a couple down in the south end and Troutman area, and then we had one on May 30th on Scotch Creek Road. It's a very distinctive van. If you folks can go to our Facebook page and see that, and if you happen to know who that van belongs to, or if you've seen that van in your area, please give us a call, 704-878-3180. And let us get that information. There again, you can send information through our app if you have it. You can send it through our website as well. But we'd really like to get these folks identified and possibly charged with some crimes.
That's good. I mean, it's good that we can use social media to get out. I think we've had a lot of information, but from what we're seeing, they may not even be from this county.
Yeah,
but they
more
may
than
have
likely
seen them
not.
somewhere.
But social media is a force multiplier. It helps the community be our eyes as well. I know we were down, as you talked to last week, Sheriff. We were down in Raleigh. You were going to the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. We were talking with our legislators and just the power of social media with sharing information between agencies, legislators seeing our social media footprint, other sheriffs. I had an opportunity to have lunch with a couple sheriffs there. They were commenting on our Facebook page and our app, very interested in getting out technology for their agency. So, it's been one of the things that you've pushed. You want us to be on that cutting edge of social media and communicating with the community.
Well, it's like here, share us shows, share stuff. It helps us be able to get information out in a timely real time, through our app and social media. And I think we're just about 200 short. We'll have over 40,000 on Facebook and about 22,000 on
That's
our app.
awesome.
So
maybe with Gina driving them, she can get push people this way.
So,
this show will drive them, Gina.
Well, Joe, I guess we're about ready to wrap it up. How many seconds? I know 10, 9. Y'all will see you next Tuesday. Thank you very much for tuning in with the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Thank you, State Farm. Thank you, Gina.
Yes, thank you.
Right here on News Talk WSIC. News Talk WSIC, Statesville, Lake Norman, North Charlotte.